I am Nell Calloway. I'm CEO President of the Chennault Aviation and Military Museum in Monroe, Louisiana, and my grandfather was General Claire Chennault. What is so meaningful about my grandfather is he went to China before any Americans went to China in 1937. And when he arrived there, he was not aware of what the Japanese were doing to Chinese people. And so when he did a survey of the Chinese Air Force, he realized how far behind China was in aviation. The war started about 6 weeks later. He offered his services to China. He's put his chief air advisor to the Chinese Air Force. But I think one of the messages that is so important for all of us today to think about is China was a very primitive country at that time. It would have been so much easier for him to come back to the comforts of the United States. But he didn't care that these people were not of the same country. They were a different culture. They were not politically the same as the United States. And their ideology was very different. All he cared was what was happening to the innocent people of China at the hands of the Japanese. Most people never have heard, even today, that between 1931 and 1945, the Japanese killed between 20 and 55 million Chinese people. The atrocities they were doing was horrible, but at that time, the United States was helping Japan. But this man was willing to give all the comforts of home, to stay in a country that he was not familiar with. It was hard of hearing because he had been flying open air airplanes, but he didn't care. He cared that he had the tools in fighter planes to be able to help them to defend themselves. And I think that is one of the stories that should be remembered, is his military genius, but the humanitarian side of him. At our museum, it's very important because we have all wars that the Chennault Aviation Military Museum, we represent all the wars that our country's been involved with since the Civil War. We will soon have a Revolutionary War exhibit because of the 250th anniversary of our country. But one of our main focuses, our motto of the museum, is that we're more than a museum because we believe in giving back to our veterans. We've established many veterans programs. We have PTSD clinics for veterans, combat veterans that we've been doing for about 15 years, but we just added non-combat veterans, veterans' families, and first responders. Our first responders go through an awful lot to help save us from accidents and fires and things like that. So we feel like it's an important way that we can give back to our soldiers and thank them for what they do. We need to give back to those who paid that price for us and sacrificed so much for us. So that's what we do at the museum. We have the Chennault exhibit because we believe that the relationship between China and the United States is the most important relationship in our world today. And so we really tell the Chinese story a lot in our exhibit. We have a whole wall dedicated to what was going on in China, not just about what the Americans did during the war. This exhibit is beautiful. It's in the Chinese American Museum. So what a great place to tell the American story here in the Chinese American Museum. So I hope people will come to see this exhibit, learn the history of China and the United States when we fought together as brothers and we accomplished winning and defeating one of the worst enemies the world had ever known. And so we accomplished that during that time, and it is our responsibility to maintain the peace that they fought so hard for.